Good morning, class. I want to ask you a few questions. My first question is, has anyone ever been bullied before? Raise your hands. Oh, you have been bullied before. And how did that make you feel? You disliked being bullied, right? Is there anything that you dislike about yourself now? Oh, there's so many things that I dislike about myself. I don't like my flabby arms. And well, the book that we're going to read today is called My Hair is a Garden. And in this book, we're going to explore why it is so important to love yourself, okay? And I want to take some time to reflect and say that we are all beautiful beings. So, My Hair is a Garden. Words and Pictures by Cosby A. Cabrera. I was always drawn to Miss Tilly's house. She lived 4 houses down and across the street from our house. There was something about Miss Tilly, the way she found and used for everything and made up songs while scrubbing her porch, the way her house shone in the daylight with its vines curling around it. It took my breath away. You could say her house had a glory. So, my first question, class, is how many houses away did Miss Tilly live? Yes, 4 houses. Remember, she lived 4 houses down and where? Across the street. Good job. I used to run right into her house when I was a toddler. So when I was teased because of my hair again, it was no surprise that I found myself running right to Miss Tilly's after school. So the word again, what do we think about when we see the word again? We think that it happened more than once, right? So she was teased more than once. She led me to her kitchen table where she's been straining sorrel. Its pungent aroma and smell of seeping ginger filled the kitchen. When my tears came, a slow leak, a salty streak, she handed me a tissue and let me be for a few minutes. Miss Tilly knew if I was looking for comfort, I would go to Mama for that. She knew I was at her house for a reason. She set a cup aside of sorrow in front of me, and I took a sip. It went down smooth and tangy, and broke through the lumps in my throat. I, I need your help with my hair, I said. So, class, why does Mackenzie like to go to Miss Tilly's house? What are some words that you could think about that why she would go to Miss Tilly's house? Yes, she goes there because Miss Tilly usually makes her feel better. So some words that we can use is comfort, right? She feels comfortable around Miss Tilly. What's another word that we could use? Maybe how she feels around Miss Tilly. She feels safe. Good job. Safe, comfort. All right. And Miss Tilly usually makes her feel better. It wasn't the first time my hair had been made a joke. I sort of got used to it. I shrug it off or I keep my hat on when I wasn't supposed to wear it in class. But when Julio Richards, who I know since kindergarten, said, "We all know Mac's hair is always a mess," he said, like it was a fact. Like we all know that the Statue of Liberty is surrounded by water. Or we all know George Washington was the first president of the United States. So class, why do you think Julio made fun of Mackenzie's hair? Why do we feel like he made fun of her? Yes, because she was different, because she had different hair. She had different hair. All right. So do you think that it was nice of Julio to make fun of her? Why or why not? No, it was not nice that he made fun of her because because he is a bully, right? Right? And bullies are not nice. And he hurt her feelings. So that could make her feel bad about herself. Good job. Folks have been poking fun of my hair since I was little, I told Miss Tilly. Mama tried to fix it, but the truth is she doesn't know what to do with it. I could feel Miss Tilly's hands in my thick nest of head. That touch gave me hope. It made a little song in my head. Miss Tilly hair is shiny, Miss Tilly hair is long. She wears it as a crown, like beauty wrapped in song. You know, Miss Tilly's hair has a glory. Miss Tilly called my mama, who said I could have stayed there a while. Then Miss Tilly turned to me. Now I'll show you how to shampoo, she said. Shampoo? I know my hair's a mess, but it's not dirty, I thought. Miss Tilly put a towel around my neck and led me to the sink. Normally, I would part my hair in quarters before shampooing, but it's a bit tangled and matted now. So it's best to shampoo first. We'll detangle when it's more pliable. For that, you'll need a wide tooth comb. So Miss Tilly is showing her a wide tooth comb. I already use a wide tooth comb, I said. Well, when I use a comb, that is. Miss Tilly took out a large comb with teeth that looked as far apart as the space in a garden rake. I nodded. Oh, right, I said, a wide tooth comb. We'll use this one for now, said Miss Tilly. Later on, when your hair's trained, you can go back to your usual comb. Trained? Miss Tilly? Means she could train hair? Oh, yes, Miss Tilly replied. You've got to work with what you have, but you can still tell it what to do. Do you think my hair will be as long as yours once is trained? I asked her. Length doesn't matter, Miss Mackenzie. Don't let anyone fool you. It's the health of your hair that counts. Miss Tilly ran the water in the sink. I guess you're right, I said, but I wasn't convinced. Will my hair always be somebody's idea of a joke? Would it ever be beautiful? Miss Tilly turned the water off. Which would you prefer if you had to choose? A healthy, shiny head of cropped hair or hair that's long, straggly, fragile, and full of split ends? Were those my only choices? These questions were drowning out the songs in my head. Miss Tilly looked at me as if she were reading my thoughts. She slowly pulled the towel from my shoulder and laid it to the kitchen counter by the sink near the drain pot of sorrel. Come with me, she said. She stared me towards the screen door to her garden. Miss Tilly's backyard was a paradise with so many shades of green, bright pockets of colorful flowers, and cool shades. I could barely take it in. It was as if someone had taken a big paintbrush and made bold strokes of green, then used countless little paintbrushes to fill in the details. We walked over to a bench and sat down. I inhaled deeply. The backyard didn't smell like the rest of the neighborhood. It smelled, well, alive. I wanted to know every part of this garden. I reached down to feel the ground. The earth was damp and cool. I felt like it was giving me something I couldn't see. How did you create this, Miss Tilly? I wanted to know. So, has anyone ever been in a garden before? Has anyone ever planted anything in a garden? So, what are the steps to planting something in the garden? Okay, so let's find out what Miss Tilly did. 30 or more years ago, I put some seeds in the ground, Miss Tilly said. I planted cuttings from neighbors and French trees, bought a few plants and bulbs from catalogs. I pointed to a tree Miss Tilly called a Japanese maple, the big one that draped gracefully over the garden. That tree was a cutting, I asked. Oh, that was a weed thing at first. The phone company men came through the yard one day and trampled over with their boots. Got in the way where they were sitting to have lunch. I found it plucked up clean and woven into the chain link fence. I gasped. What did you do? Oh, I cried, Miss Tilly replied. Paid $15 for that tree. And that was a lot of money for me at that time. But I put that tree back in the ground and watered it every day without fail. I thought about how that little tree had survived and all the water Miss Tilly gave me. All the water Miss Tilly gave it every day, even though it just looked like a broken branch. I wonder if I would have given up and thrown it away. I leaned down and ran my hands over some tiny plants on the ground near the bench. What are these? Those are succulents. They hold a lot of water. Makes a great ground cover. They sure are pretty, I said. Miss Tilly looked at me. Is that Japanese maple prettier than those succulents? She said. Of course not, I said. Even though the Japanese maple's taller. She asked. They're both beautiful, I said, even though they're so different. As the words came out of my mouth, I knew I believed it. Ah, she said, go back inside. Put your towel back on. That was the day I first learned that my hair is a garden. Okay, so class, what lesson did Mackenzie learn in Miss Tilly's garden? She learned that even though she is different, right? She's different from the students in her class. Her hair is different. She is still beautiful, just like the succulent is still beautiful, even though the Japanese maple is taller. Okay, so that was a great answer, class. My hair is a garden, and like every good garden, it must be cared for every day. The nutrients in the soil can be stimulated and enriched. My body is the soil for my hair. What I give to the soil comes back to me. I love to eat, right? My words are like seeds that I plant. What I think and speak draws a yield. I weed out all opinions that have no place in my garden. So she's weeding out. It's too curly. She's pulling that out. Pull it back. Straighten it. Cut it off. She is weeding out all the opinions of others that don't matter. Okay, so class. Miss Tilly says, it's not what you start with in the garden that matters. It's the care, time, and attention you give it. My hair is a garden, and I give it love. So, what is the overall lesson that we have learned from the story? What is the overall lesson that you've learned from the story? That whatever you have, whatever you're given, you should love it. You should take care of it because it's part of you. You should care about yourself. So now Mackenzie is learning to love her hair and to take care of her hair. It doesn't matter what other people say, right? And you should always tell yourself good things because those are the words that matter the most. All right. So one final question, class. If Mackenzie was here, what is something that you would tell her right now? Oh, good answer. You would tell her that it doesn't matter that what other people think about her hair, that her hair is so beautiful. Oh, that's a great answer. That's a beautiful answer, right? She should not care about what other people think about her hair because her hair is beautiful. All right. I hope we all enjoyed that story class. And here in the back, we have some caring for black hair. So it tells you what to do with your hair, and you can read that on your free time. Okay. So I'll see everybody later. Bye bye.